What if I told you that Apple might keep the iPhone 18 Pro prices exactly the same as the iPhone 17 Pro, even though chip costs are going through the roof right now? I know it sounds almost too good to be true in today's world, where everything seems to be getting more expensive. But here's the thing. Recent supply chain reports and analyst predictions are painting a very different picture than what we usually expect from Apple launches. So, today the latest iPhone 18 leaks that suggest Apple is planning something quite unusual for their next Pro models. We're talking about stable pricing, major battery improvements, and some design changes that could change how you use your iPhone forever. So grab your coffee, hit that like button, and let's break down everything we know about the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max so far. Let's start with the biggest surprise from these leaks, the pricing situation. According to Jeff Pu from GS Securities, Apple is planning to keep the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max at the same launch prices as their previous models. This means we're looking at $1,099 for the iPhone 18 Pro and $1,199 for the iPhone 18 Pro Max in their base configurations. Now you might be wondering why this is such a big deal. Well, here's the context that makes this really interesting. Memory chip prices have been climbing steadily because AI companies are buying massive amounts of these components for their data centers. When chip prices go up, phone prices usually follow. It's just basic economics. But Apple seems to have a different strategy this time around. The company is reportedly working behind the scenes to negotiate better deals with major suppliers like Samsung and SK Hynix. They're also looking at ways to reduce costs in other components to balance out the higher memory prices. For Indian buyers, the leaked pricing suggests the iPhone 18 Pro Max could start around 154,900 rupees for the 256 gigs variant. That's roughly the same range as the previous Pro Max launch price in India. This price stability would be huge for Indian customers who have watched premium phone prices climb year after year. Apple's approach here is actually pretty smart when you think about it. They have enormous buying power because of the sheer number of units they produce each year. This gives them leverage in negotiations that smaller phone makers simply don't have. Plus, Apple doesn't rely solely on hardware sales for profit. Services like the App Store, iCloud, Apple Music, and Apple One generate significant revenue. This means they can afford to take smaller margins on hardware if it helps maintain customer loyalty and market share. Other Android manufacturers don't have this luxury. They depend heavily on hardware profits, so when component costs rise, they have to pass those costs on to customers. Now let's talk about what might be the most significant hardware change in the iPhone 18 lineup. Multiple reports suggest Apple plans to remove the physical SIM card tray from all iPhone 18 models worldwide. This isn't completely new. US versions of recent iPhones already ship without SIM slots. But extending this globally would be a major shift for international markets. The move to dual eSIM support worldwide would standardize Apple's hardware design across all regions. No more different versions for different countries, just one unified design. But here's where it gets really interesting for users. Removing the SIM tray frees up internal space inside the phone. Apple has already used this extra space in US models to fit larger batteries. Reports suggest this approach will now benefit all iPhone 18 models globally. We're talking about some seriously impressive battery capacity improvements here. The iPhone 18 Pro Max could pack a battery rated between 5,100 mAh and 5,200 mAh. To put that in perspective, that's getting close to what you see in high-capacity Android flagships. Current iPhone models typically have much smaller batteries, but achieve good battery life through software optimization. Imagine that same optimization with significantly more battery capacity. These larger batteries make sense when you consider how phones are being used today. Displays are getting brighter and more power-hungry. On-device AI processing requires more energy. Camera systems are becoming more advanced and resource-intensive. All of these factors increase power consumption, so bigger batteries are becoming essential. However, the global eSIM transition isn't without challenges. Not all regions have the same level of eSIM infrastructure readiness. Some carriers still rely heavily on physical SIM cards for customer onboarding and service activation. This could create complications in markets where digital provisioning systems aren't fully developed yet. Apple has historically tailored hardware features by region to accommodate local market needs. A universal eSIM-only approach would signal confidence that carrier infrastructure and regulatory frameworks are ready worldwide. Now, let's talk about the expected launch timeline for these devices. Current reports suggest the iPhone 18 Pro models will launch in September 2026. The standard iPhone 18 models might follow later in March 2027. This staggered release pattern reflects Apple's recent approach to product launches. It also gives them time to refine manufacturing processes and manage supply chain logistics more effectively. Speaking of design changes, early leaks hint at some subtle but noticeable refinements. The front-facing camera position might be adjusted slightly. There are rumors about possible changes to dynamic island placement. New color options are also being discussed, including burgundy, brown, and purple variants. These color additions would give users more personalization options beyond the typical black, white, and neutral tones. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture of what Apple is trying to achieve here. Maintaining stable pricing while improving key features like battery life is a strategic move. It positions Apple favorably against Android competitors who may be forced to raise prices due to component costs. Customer loyalty becomes stronger when people feel they're getting more value at the same price point. This approach also helps Apple maintain its premium brand positioning without pricing out potential upgraders. The company seems to be betting that superior user experience and ecosystem integration matter more than having the absolute latest specs at any cost. This strategy has worked well for Apple in the past. Many iPhone users prioritize reliability, software updates, and ecosystem compatibility over raw specifications. By keeping prices stable while improving core features like battery life, Apple reinforces these priorities. The removal of physical SIM trays also supports Apple's broader vision of simplified, streamlined devices. Fewer physical ports and openings mean better water resistance and potentially more durable construction. It also reduces manufacturing complexity once the transition is complete globally. For users, eSIM technology offers benefits like easier carrier switching and better support for international travel. You can maintain multiple carrier profiles without needing to swap physical cards. This is particularly useful for people who travel frequently or want to maintain separate work and personal lines. However, some users prefer the simplicity and familiarity of physical SIM cards. The transition period might require education and support to help customers adapt to eSIM activation processes, so the iPhone 18 Pro lineup is shaping up to offer some compelling improvements while maintaining familiar pricing. Stable prices, significantly better battery life, and a unified global design approach could make these models particularly attractive for upgraders. The move to eSIM only globally represents a significant shift that could influence the entire smartphone industry. Of course, we won't know for certain until Apple makes official announcements closer to the 2026 launch window. But these early supply chain reports give us a fascinating glimpse into Apple's strategic thinking. What do you think about these rumored changes? Are you excited about the potential for much better battery life? Or are you concerned about losing the physical SIM card slot? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more tech news and analysis. Ring the notification bell so you never miss updates on the latest iPhone rumors and leaks. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tech news and updates.